Welcome to the V-Twin Visionary Motorcycles and Mayhem podcast, powered by Rockford Fosgate.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff G. Holt. We are on another podcast. We are here in East Tennessee. I'm here with my dude Mike from Dominator Motorcycles in the Netherlands, or Holland as you people call it in the USA. I never got that. Whatever. We just like naming things. Germany. We're going to call you Germany now. It's Deutschland. No, you're Germany. Okay. Hey, Holland. You're Holland now. Okay.
So Dutch or Holland?
Dutch
or
and Holland.
Netherlands.
You guys got three names. I like that. So I've known Mike for a while now.
True.
Been a big fan of Dominator, seeing it come out. Like, you guys have been light years ahead of a lot of companies. They're world famous for their fiberglass and carbon fiber FXRT fairings, which I think the quality is second to none. A couple years ago, I strolled into their booth in Italy and saw a full carbon fiber FXR tank.
True.
Like, it was amazing. You know, it's like you're just over there in your corner of the world doing such good stuff, having fun doing it. You know, I think it's to see that kind of stuff happen in other places besides SoCal and, you know, Phoenix and that kind of stuff. I love that. You know, I love seeing guys in Europe, and I think the bagger thing and, you know, the performance thing and the bagger thing in Europe has been crazy.
Yeah, it's big. It's big.
I think you've been a cornerstone of that with your stuff for a while. Like we've talked earlier today, you were a carpenter, you've done a bunch of other stuff, you've built hot rods and driven them all through Europe. Like, how did you grow up as a boy in Holland?
I grew up as a son of a mechanic, and he just always warned me. He said, Mike, whatever you do, don't be a mechanic.
And guess
Go
what
and do something else. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a dad and son thing that they just don't listen.
I've done the same thing. I did, you know, I don't know if you know much about me, but my father was seriously injured and paralyzed in a motorcycle accident.
Okay.
When I was a child. And I was completely verboten to fucking ride a Harley, a dirt bike, anything. You're never riding a motorcycle. Look at your dad. He's in a wheelchair, da-da-da-da. And they told me I couldn't do something, and I literally made it my life's work. So, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying about when your parents say don't do that, you automatically do that.
Yeah, just when you're young, you just think, okay, yeah, it would be a cool profession to do. And then I got into cars first.
Yeah.
And then after that, into motorcycles. That was my thing. Just got my driver's license. And
what age do you think?
18.
18.
Yeah, late 18, 19. First I got my car.
Yeah.
Because that was my parents obligated, saying, okay, you first need to get your car driver's license, and then you can go and get a bike license.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I think it's just crazy because it's, you know, no matter where you are, the parallels are the same as a lot of other people who are motorcycle enthusiasts and riders. It doesn't matter what background you came from, what part of the world you came from. As soon as you threw a leg over a motorcycle and rode it, you're all in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you either like it or don't like it, but yeah, if it's your thing, then that's what it is.
Yeah, and I love that. And like you said, you know, growing up in Holland, doing all the stuff, and then for some reason you decided to get in your Pontiac and drive through Europe and move to Spain.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, why did you do that?
I think just got bored in the Netherlands, and now they start, okay, let's go to Spain because there the sun shines instead of rain all day.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay, it's too crowded in Holland, so let's go over there and there I can do what I want, but
Yeah.
that's not the thing.
How old were you when you did that?
26.
Good age to do
27,
that.
yeah. I did that for a few years. Then got back in Holland. And then I started into the motorcycle business as a motorcycle shop. Just doing maintenance and
Just oil changes, tire changes, motor stuff.
And
How long
repairs.
did that last for?
20 years.
Yeah. It's just for me to be able to see guys living their dreams, doing motorcycle business. Like you said, now you have a motorcycle shop, but mostly you produce products.
That's what I do now.
Yeah.
I just a few years ago just stopped doing working on bikes and doing the products only.
Building your own bikes.
Because it's just biting each other. It's not possible to do both.
No, it's not.
No.
I mean, you become chasing your tail, and you get pulled apart so many times, and so you fell into. What were your first parts?
The carbon fiber parts.
Yeah,
I got.
this was. I mean, what was the first year you started producing carbon parts?
That's a good one. I think 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years. That's crazy.
I think 20 years ago.
And I think that the all you guys that lived in Europe had a jump on it because of F1 and Superbike and things like that. And there was plenty of other carbon fiber houses there building cool stuff for either racing or German vehicles or things like that. And I can remember seeing your stuff a long time ago, back when I was at our hot bike and all that stuff, and seeing that and being like, man, this Dominator stuff's really, really cool. And then being able, only see it every once in a while in the United States.
Yeah.
On a Dyna here and an FXR there. And you're like, oh man, that stuff is so cool. And then once I started getting to go to Europe, mainly Italy, and see you and visit you at, the Verona show, which is one of the best shows on the planet. You guys put it on your bucket list. Motorbike Expo, you never heard of it. Seeing this stuff and touching it, and just being a guy that was in love with carbon fiber since the beginning, I'm sure like you, it was really cool. And that was when there was nobody making carbon fiber in the US at all.
No. In when we started it, in Europe, it was like custom bikes. They built was bike that can be ridden, like big tires, long bikes that were only, then you build a bike for a customer like that.
Yeah.
But the customer is not happy with his bike. In the end, it looks nice, but it sits in the garage.
Because he's only seen pictures of guys building these bikes, and they're really cool, and they look bitchin'. They're two-wheel sculptures.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a show bike.
It's a show bike.
It's not a bike to drive around with.
Yeah.
For fun. It's not practical.
No.
And so then the plan was to build a bike that actually drives nice and handles well.
Right.
This was the plan. So then, me driving an FXR, saying, okay, let's take an FXR, just get everything off, just and a bare frame, then put everything new on.
Yeah.
And then just use sports bike stuff, light wheels, good front suspension, rear suspension, aluminum swing arm.
Yep.
And then we got to these tin parts, saying, okay, a tank, it's way too heavy. we need to have a carbon fiber stuff.
Just a carbon fiber tank. Okay.
And to have it real practical and want to drive it, it needs to have a fairing.
Yeah.
So then I got the FXR. The fairing, made it out of carbon.
Yeah.
A top fairing, lowers, rear fender, side covers, all. So there wasn't any tins on anymore.
Right.
So then you end up with a real light bike with a new engine in and light wheels.
On that magical FXR chassis.
Yes.
And
that was the dream.
Yeah.
Dream bike.
Yeah.
So then I got a customer wanting this, and so then another customer walks in. Hey, that's a good idea. Can you build me one? And then another one and another one. So then I got to build like 4 or 5 in one piece. But in that time, there weren't any parts available.
No.
When you open the catalog, it's only like chrome stuff and
not
steel,
even like
chrome and
billet
steel.
stuff.
No, it wasn't. So we had to make triple trees, and we had to put in search for good forks. So there went Öhlin forks in, and a real swing arm. We bought a swing arms from a German company who is the swing arm specialist in Europe, and from that on, just went on and on and on and on.
It's
So then, and we ended up then building 5 in one time. So then you can go to someone saying, okay, can you make me 5 pieces of this, 5 pieces of that, 5 sets of triple trees, and
just get it ironed out in the beginning.
So that was. So then the dream was to just build FXRs.
Right.
Real, but that's not the deal, because the bill of a bike like that is outrageous.
That's at least $100,000, right?
In that time, like, yeah.
$100,000 then.
Yeah.
You're talking 15, 18 years ago.
Yeah. I think like 70,000.
Yeah.
Euros.
Which is
Yeah.
$80,000.
Yeah.
I think it's just to see it like being an originator like you are.
But then you end up with an $80,000 bike, and if you look on the paperwork,
$3,500.
yeah, and it's a bike of we just get bikes from 90 and up, so it's 90 till 93.
Yeah,
there was, but only really enthusiasts which know what an FXR is and what it does, they do that. So
I think that
we just end up
yeah,
selling the parts.
right.
That's what it is.
And then you became a parts manufacturer because all these people across the world wanted cool FXR stuff, and the resurgence of FXRs now is crazy. You know, it's always been, for guys like us, it's always been that bike.
Yeah.
And it's always been a bike that, you know, has given us so much as far as, you know, where you live and where I lived, and just being able to get out and ride the damn thing with a new motor, whether it's an Evo or a twin cam or now an M8, and get down and dirty with a suspension that's not like a twin cam Softail or a wobbly Dyna.
No. But I'm happy with a stock FXR.
Yeah. It's hard to beat like a 90s really well tuned Evo FXR with not a lot of crap on it.
No, that's,
you know,
the ultimate bike.
It is the ultimate bike. You know, I just see all these guys building, you know, crazy FXRs, and you know, some of it's a pissing contest. Other guys have been just like completely by the rules, not restoring them, but giving them what they needed, like you did. I mean, bottom line, if it's performance, it's got to be lighter, faster, stop better. You know, that's all it needs to be. It can be anything that you want it to be. And Danny Wilson and I and the guys from FXR division built the first Milwaukee 8 FXR, Jesus, almost 10 years ago now. And we thought it was a one-off thing. It's not going to be a big deal. And then now, 10 years later, I think of the FXRs I see on the internet getting built, there's more of those than any twin cam FXR now.
I think so. You don't see them too much in Europe, but when you look on the internet,
they're all over the internet.
Yeah.
Hoffman's building the kit now,
Yeah.
and FXR division has stuff for easy getting it in, and I mean, I think it's great.
Sure.
But yet, what you said still is the core of the FXR is that 5-speed transmission, is that Evo motor, and not an 80s one. We all know those are a little funky. I mean, I'll still ride one any day of the week.
Sure.
But to have the 90s ones is insane. And
it shifts okay. It runs a good clutch. And happy days.
Exactly. Happy days everywhere.
Yeah.
What about baggers? What about new soft tails? Like, I know you do a little in that game.
That's true. Yeah, we do for the new soft tails. We do mostly the fairings.
Yep.
That's what we do. And I think if you have like a nice soft tail and have a fairing on and stuff, it looks nice.
It looks great. They look so good. Like some of them you have to double take because you think it's like a early Dyna or FXR. And you're like, oh wait, you look at the side covers of the swing arm, you're like, oh wait, it's not.
No. Yeah.
And like you were saying, is a lot of guys, a lot of your customers now with new Softails maybe have bought an ST, realize that fairing doesn't cover them as much as they'd like, so they go with your RT fairing.
Yeah, that's true. I get lots of customers saying, okay, does it fit my ST? I said, but on an ST, there already is a fairing on it. I said, no, it's too small, I don't like it. And I think I'm gonna go with your fairing. Yeah. So then we put my fairing on. It's a little bit bigger, and it's more practical.
And I think even they buy your whole kit, they do it with the lowers and all that. It has that look, but yet there's not that many options for windshields on STs. There's a million options for FXRT windshields. You can have light combinations, so many things that you guys offer with your turn signals, with your Baja conversions, with all that stuff. And then you add your lowers, which are a work of art. I think, it definitely, it's not like it used to be when you're like, man, why are you putting FXR fairing on something that's not an FXR?
No.
And that was a thing. And I had that thing too. I was like, bro, like, come on, man. You don't need to do that. Now, that fairing design has transcended the FXR. You see them on Road Kings like we just did today. You see, which is a bagger. You see them on, we're talking about putting them on Sportsters and Nightsters and all there's going to be Pan Ams with them and, everything else. And like I said, that design is no longer just, oh, that's an FXR fairing.
No, but the design, we didn't do that. We didn't change that much on the original design. We just tweaked a little, and but I think it's timeless.
It really is. Yeah. If you think of from Project Nova, where it was a Harley, look it up if you don't know what it is. Project Nova, which never got made, had the clamshell bags, and there's one in the museum in Milwaukee. And, it had that crazy motor, and it had that fairing. What was crazy is, it's a T fairing with the gigantic turn signals on it from a P, and it's kind of like this mixture, and it had a crazy big windshield on it, and even on that bike, it looks great.
Yeah.
And that bike's a very awkward bike, but that's where that I'm giving you all a little lesson. That's where that design came from. And it was one of the only, especially if you guys have ridden T-Sports and a lot of other things since that, I have it on good accord that the FXR T&P fairings were the only wind tunnel designed. They didn't have CAD back then. So you made it and wind tunneled it, and it was. And that's why that thing, when you put it on your bike, that P&T fairing doesn't do things like a T-Sport fairing. Doesn't have your bobblehead. It doesn't do that stuff where, those fairings were, of course, the new fairings, like on a ST, they were designed via CAD and all that other stuff. So it didn't really need the wind tunnel. But, to see that thing on that bike and know that it came from the late 70s, early 80s, all the way to 2026 now.
Yeah.
With very minute changes only. Like I said, it transcends all motorcycles. You see them on Indians. I've seen one on a GSXR. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Seen it on a Gixxer. Like,
on a, what's it called? A V-Rod?
Yeah, V-Rod a lot. Like, I just think it's super cool. And for you to be able to base your business off of it is really cool, Did you ever think that the cornerstone of your business was going to be
the FXR fairing?
Yeah, carbon fiber FXR fairing.
No, never.
I just think, and you've done a lot more. Don't get me wrong. Like, you go and check. He's done so many crazy things, and to see that thing just reinventing itself over the past 20 years for you. Like, we got to make brackets for this new Harley, or, we got to make brackets for this Indian Sport Chief, and you're like, wow, like, these guys are, I'm sure you get a phone call a month. Hey, I just got this new blah, 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 and I put a fairing on it.
Yeah.
Like, how does that resonate with you?
This is the thing I like the most, doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Just making brackets, and I like making stuff.
It's a puzzle.
Yeah, and when you've got it all figured out and it runs, it gives a good feeling.
Yeah.
But to make new stuff up, I like that.
Yeah.
And if someone comes and, hey, can you put your fairing on my bike? This is what I like as well.
Yeah.
Because then you can just really see if everything's in the kit, and if it has the right bolts and all. And okay, this bolt can do a little bit different, or this or that, or hey, we need to re-drill this, or it's always something.
I
you do
love
it 20
that.
times,
Yeah.
You always
20 different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, or have new ideas to do.
I mean, one of your latest ideas that I loved was the Lowrider ST light cover.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's super cool. It adds a complete different spin on that fairing. Even if you've never seen a P or T fairing with the light cover on it, if you see the Dominator light cover on the ST fairing, it just smooths out that front end. You don't have the transition from the ring that used to fall off all the time into that. Like, it's just one smooth thing. It makes it look more sleek, more fast. They're really cool if you've never seen one. I really love that. And like we were discussing earlier today, I tell everybody in the business, if you can find an item that's under $250 that a lot of people would like to put on their bike, it's like the motorcycle equivalent of a toilet seat. Everybody's going to get it. Everybody loves it. And I mean, that's your toilet seat. You know what I mean? Like, everybody joneses for that thing now. I mean, the story behind that is awesome. You need to tell him when you came to California he went to California Born Free. I'll let him tell the story though.
Yeah, it was like a week before I went to the Born Free show. I was in the shop very early in the morning, and I just walked past an ST that was on the stand, and I just walked by. Hey, I think a light cover would do really good on that fairing.
Yeah.
So then I just got an FXRT fairing, a shield out of the stock, and just cut it up and put it on, and then looked amazing. I said, okay, that makes it complete.
Yeah, it does finish it off.
That's it. So quickly make a bracket for it, have it cut a few, and then put them on in my luggage, and put them on
Fly over here
in a Born
Free.
Free show, and then we're just talking a bit there, and I said, hey, I have another nice idea. I want to show you, and then it just went.
Yeah, it went crazy after that. Like, I mean, if you got an ST and you don't have that cover, man, you need to get one, because it does finish off the look of that bike. No matter what headlight you're running, you know, whether you have a Baja or this or that, it just looks really good on the front of it.
Yeah, and it's practical because then you don't get all these flies and stuff in between the headlight and the fairing.
Okay,
Because
picking it out with a coat hanger.
Yeah.
Then that trim ring falls off.
You don't need that anymore then.
I think it's really cool. I mean, you know, you've definitely been an innovator with FXRs and carbon fiber and a lot of that stuff, and your day-to-day struggles and triumphs and all that stuff. Like, what do you fill your day up with usually to be able to get through the day at work? I know a lot of coffee.
That's true.
And we were talking yet again earlier today, and you know, we always come into work to do a job, one thing, and you think it's going to be linear, and then 14 curveballs get thrown at you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
You never know what the day brings.
Right. Walk us through a typical day, if there is a typical day.
There is no.
Yeah.
There is no day, no typical day. You just think when you produce parts and you run an internet website where people order stuff, so you can just pack it in and have an easy life, but that's not. No. It's always something. It's always something.
Yeah.
Then you think you got it right. Then someone calls, say, hey, I have a crash bar here from you and it doesn't fit. How is that possible? I say, hey, I don't know.
You're like, I put it on 40 bikes.
Can you give me a picture? And then yeah, you end up helping a client, and in the end he's happy because he just wasn't some real easy explanation that he got. He wanted to put it on the wrong way,
Right.
or it's always something.
Or they forgot to take something off and they're trying to put it over it. I think, you know.
Or you run into a problem that I didn't think about. That's possible as well.
That always is a thing, you
Yeah.
know, and having good customer service and being nice to the people who are
Yeah.
funding your life. Pretty
yeah, that's
much.
true. But in the end, we all have the same hobby. So
Yes.
it's easy to, if you just want to help, if they understand that you only want to help them out, and if they don't, then we solve it another way. But it always gets solved. That's what it is.
Well, I think that, you know, being a manufacturer and, you know, a retail outlet, you know, on the internet in the real world, there's lots of pitfalls that you can get tripped up on. You can get jaded really easy. You can, you know, you've seen manufacturers and people who make stuff that aren't around much anymore, or, you know, they've kind of blackballed themselves because of the way they act, and especially if they're online, like, you know, lambasting somebody who put their part on wrong, or somebody that was just trying to get their bike running correctly. And it's like, that's not a way to act. That's not a way to do it. Like, we're here to help.
That's true.
You know, just like V2 Visionary, we're a resource, so you can see all this great stuff and buy stuff from him and other people and do things like that. And, you know, with the internet and social media, it's a lot easier now to get, your pieces out into the world. You know, you have a lot of followers, or, you know, you can pay for ads, where before it was an ad in a magazine and you paid for it in February, the magazine came out in April, and then you don't know how well it did, and the magazine doesn't know how well it did till November or December. Here you make a product, hey guys, this is what I got going on now. There's like already people, take my money, I want to buy it, da 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 da. You know, like, whoa, I was just showing it off. Like, it's going to be 6 months till it's done. And
yeah, that's true.
I think it's a really cool process now, because people, even jaded people like me, get excited when you see new things. You know, that fairing, I've been wanting to own one of those fairings forever, and now I get to. You know, and it was a conquest of mine that I really wanted it, and, you know, it just never really worked out for me in the past, and now I'm super stoked about it. You know, just to be able to have that, like I said, a jaded dude who has, you know, a lot of motorcycles, and all of them have carbon fiber all over them, but that was a pinnacle thing, you know, and I just think that segment of the marketplace, first adopters and guys that will just throw money, not because they're rich, definitely not because they're rich, you know, because they want that. They want to have something a little different than what the guys they ride with have, or they want to be the first adopter of it. And I think the internet and having a good site tailored to that, like you do, is just, you can gain a foothold in this industry like you have. And then the time that you've been doing it and your reputation within the industry and all of that, it just solidifies what a great company that you have and what's going on.
We do our best.
That's all you can do, you know, but you strive for greatness.
Yeah, yeah. It's I just enjoy of selling stuff all over the world. I really like when someone from I don't know where, the strangest places, I see orders coming from and when you're in Holland and you see an order coming in from Honolulu, Hawaii, you just think, okay, what's this?
Yeah.
For us, it's
a worlds away.
Yeah, crazy.
You know? And to think that guy was like, oh man, I'm buying that thing today, right now.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to show up. Like the dude, as soon as he pressed pay, was like,
Crazy.
oh my God, it's coming.
Crazy.
My bike is going to be so cool. And, you know, and I love that feeling.
That's true.
You know, be on the receiving end of that too.
That you create a website, you create products and you put them on a website, and then from all over the world, people thinking, okay, that's a cool idea to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Yeah.
Just to see all that, you know, I really love that about this industry.
And then have people saying, okay, I bought this product. If it's or either a fairing or I don't know what, and then people coming back saying, that was good that I bought this because I really, really love it. That's the best thing that you can hear.
I agree entirely, and you know, it's not a kickstand spring. Your parts are not cheap.
No, that's true.
They're very well made. They're worth every penny, but you know, for a guy who maybe is making $500 a month motorcycle payments and is like, I'm going to buy a full carbon fairing. We know they're not cheap. They shouldn't be cheap because you have the top quality, but that's an investment.
Yeah.
And for them to order it half a world away and have faith.
To have the confidence that fairing is actually going to be on their motorcycle from another side of the world.
Right. I love that so much. And I mean, that speaks volumes about your business because, you know, they've seen, you know, they lurk on your page and they see where everything's going to and who's talking about it and who's has it on their bikes. And, you know, if it wasn't if it was a subpar product, you wouldn't sell them anywhere. You'd be lining a garbage can with them.
If it's, yeah.
But I think that is what's really cool as well.
Yeah, that's true. It's, yeah. To have a new client and who has the confidence to actually buy our stuff. I don't know what brings people to do that.
It's a crazy process. Like I've had, when we worked at the magazine, we had people that would analyze things like this, like people with degrees and all this stuff. And they would give me a percentage. Oh, well, you need to have the magazine be tactile because you have 4 seconds when they pull it off the stand to look at it and flip through a couple pages, and then they're either going to buy it or they're going to put it back. And I was thinking about the way I purchase things, the way I know people purchase things. And I always think about this process in this order, and it's very strange. And I'll tell you guys this, and you'll understand it too, Mike. First time you see something online or on a bike, you're like, oh, never heard or seen that before. That's pretty interesting. And then you see it again, whether it's on a bike or another post or whatever, you're like, oh, that company's not out of business yet. Then the third time you see it, you're like, well, that stuff is pretty cool. Maybe I should buy it. And then the fourth time you see it is when you plunk down the dough.
So they need to see it 4 times.
4 times. And think about your buying patterns, and you too when you buy something, and it's exactly 3 or 4 steps until you buy it.
Okay.
It's very strange, but it's literally that. How many times you're like, oh, I don't know about that company. This is really cool. I'm going to buy. Oh, I don't know. I don't know their reputation. I don't know, anything about their testing or quality control or there's so many things in that ball of wax that's a company. And I love that about it. And I love to investigate that and see that happen. And your company's case in point, like you're like, oh, they've been around 20 years. Oh, I've seen it. Oh, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. I'm down. And I think that's where you're able to edge out a lot of other people in the industry because you've been doing it for so long. You've done it in such a way that it's held in high regard. And, like we keep saying, some guys that plunk down money half a world away, blindly practically, only seeing something there on a screen, I think that is a very key factor in what we do with these custom motorcycles, because you have to find these performance parts. I see a lot of these guys in Southeast Asia that are building swing arms and all this cool billet stuff that nobody's ever seen. But I've bought a titanium exhaust off Samsung, and I've seen, and you wait to see it and you're like, oh my God, I don't know. But you got to have faith in the companies that you're dealing with. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be doing podcasts. I tried to stay out of it. I was on a lot of other people's podcasts for a long time, and every one of those guys afterwards were like, and these are the big podcast guys. They're like, how can we all do a podcast? You know everybody, you go everywhere, like da 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 da. And I was like, I don't know, man. It seems like a total pain in the butt, but it's not. I tend to interview people and I know what they've done. I'm not going to interview somebody I don't really know or know their business, and I've been on the outside of looking in on a lot of people's businesses for a long time, so I feel I know them.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we've known each other forever, I've never had dinner at your house or, any of that, but, I see you at trade shows, we talk a lot, we understand each other's businesses, we have a lot of fun. That's the kind of people I want on these podcasts. And this is like, I don't have a lot of big names. I'm not really that guy. We have some bigger names coming on. They're harder to nail down. We got some rock stars. We got some TV and movie guys. We got bunch of musicians, everybody that rides Harleys, you know, and I got a lot of bike builders that are coming on. That's really what I love about interviewing people. And yeah, you know, I find myself talking in circles sometimes, but I still let it go. Like I'm not a guy that edits a lot of stuff out. Like, and we keep them pretty short. Like we keep them, you know, right around an hour. Some of them 3-4 hours. Everybody's getting drunk and nobody's making any sense at the end. And that's not the way I want to do my thing, you know.
But after to listen to a podcast for an hour.
Yeah. I mean, think about people stuck in LA traffic every day, though.
That's
you
true.
know, by the time they go to work and come back, it's an hour and a half each way. That's 3 hours. You know,
So
I get people hitting me up all the time. I listen to your podcast. I was driving on vacation, and my wife and all the kids were asleep in the car, and I was listening to the podcast. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. And
Yeah, that's when I listen to podcasts as well.
yeah, it's the same way. I think that, you know, it's a good way to communicate. I know it's kind of in fashion right now, and I get it. But, I mean, for me, it's a way that I can bring people that not a lot of people know, you know, personally, like you, into a spotlight that I feel you need to be in, that I feel you deserve to be in. And that's kind of why I pick a lot of people that a lot of people don't really know as a household name. And I like it that way. Like, I want people to understand the industry and the backbone of the industry, like guys like you who are taking chances for 20 years. Nothing is concrete. Nothing's given to you. Nothing, tomorrow never knows what's going on, like we've discussed. So, I mean, you have to come at your self-employed business, especially, this is not a real business. It's a labor of love. We're not curing cancer and building buildings and airplanes and bombs. Like, we're building, it's a toy. It's a grown man's toy.
Yeah, it's doing what you like to do.
It's a great hobby. You
Yeah.
know? And I love it. And, you know, some people, oh, he doesn't ride his bike that much. His bike's always on the lip. Oh, guess what? He likes doing that.
That's true.
He's still a motorcyclist.
I have clients doing more work on their bike than riding it.
Yeah. But, you know.
They always changing and stuff, and yeah. But it's a hobby.
It is
It's
a hobby.
what they like to do, and they like to talk about it, and they like working on them and clean them, and yeah.
I hate cleaning bikes.
Me too.
All you detailers out there, come get at me. So, I mean, what do you think, past, present, now, future, what do you think of the current state of the motorcycle business?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
If what you see is what's going on in the auto business, it's going to be turning to be electric, I think.
Yeah.
They all can complain about it, but in the end, I think we're all going to be driving electric cars.
We'll all be driving electric cars sooner than we'll be riding electric motorcycles.
That's
I think
true.
The car thing is going to slam shut within the next 20 years. And then within our lifetime, we'll phase out internal combustion motorcycles. As far as being able to buy a new one. I mean, there's millions of internal combustion motorcycles which you can buy. It'll be a collector's thing, like somebody buying an old Ford or, you know, Chevy. But yeah, I agree with that, you know, and then I think...
Yeah, but to own an electric car, it's practical. But to own an electric bike where you have to go and do a trip with,
they're not built for that now. Yeah, they're not built for that now. You know, even cars, a good car, like my Tesla was 450 miles range, and then the way I rode it, the way I drove it, 300.
Yeah.
And, you know, from LA to Phoenix, I would have to stop 4 times. And in a car, gas car, I'd stop once for gas in the middle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the technology is, is great if you live in a town or a village and you have a 30-mile commute or a 20-mile commute every day. It's just not viable now for transportation. You know, my Livewire, I love that bike. It's fast, it's light, it can do no wrong in my book. I think, you know, you don't have to shift it. It doesn't burn your legs. It's like super cool. And it is a motorcycle. It's not a toy. Like, it's legit. It's not an electric bicycle. It'll get you if you don't pay attention, just like a real motorcycle. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a long conclusion of what we're doing on motorcycles. But I mean, there's still a ton of stuff, you know, like all these new bikes. You know, I'm sure you came across this when all the CAN bus stuff came out. Like, oh man, what do I do?
Yeah.
Can't cut a wire. Like, what about immediate technology? How do you feel about that? And do you work your way around it? Are you the guy that gets a tuner and turns everything off? Or do you keep everything? I mean...
Yeah, I'm not doing that much work on bikes anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't do that much.
Good. Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing out here now, you know, as far as dyno tuners, learning how to use the stuff with especially the Gen 2 Milwaukee 8, things like that. It's pretty crazy.
Complicated.
Very complicated. What do you think about the water-cooled Harley stuff?
Yeah. It's doesn't need to be on. Is it? Yeah. Why?
Pan Am and all that stuff. And
If I ride a Pan America, it's a nice bike. It runs perfect. And what if it's water or air cooled?
Right.
Yeah, it's
neither. It doesn't matter.
no, doesn't matter. Still a great bike.
I
If
agree.
if it's water cooled or air cooled, I don't mind.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either
No.
way. You know, and especially now with the Gen 2 M8, it's water cooled.
Yeah.
You know, and it's anybody that's ever had a leaned out twin cam burning your inner thighs at every stoplight.
Yes.
Like, you know, you wish Harley would fix that issue, and they did. You know, with the
Okay.
Gen 2 stuff. And, you know, with you know, Rev Max is cool. And, you know, a lot of people have issues with Rev Max because it's built offshore and, you know, it had a lot of issues with charging and, you know, but it was a new bike. Now you buy a Pan Am and they're bomb-proof,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I think that the widening of your choices through the Harley brand is a really good thing. Just like Indian did with Challenger and those bikes, you know, widen it up, make it run cooler, make it so you can get more horsepower and get around all the laws in the United States with that, you know, all the emissions and all that other stuff. There's no way you can do it at an extreme level without water cooling the motor.
That's true. That's true.
And I mean, it's luckily, you know, if we were having this conversation 3 years ago, we'd be talking about it differently. But these bikes have been here and they're here to stay. And look, I mean, 2023 and a half is when Gen 2 came out for Milwaukee 8. You know, I that Limited I have back there is water cooled, you know, but it's not water cooled like that. And a lot of people are like, oh, I took the heads off and threw that crap away. And it's like, you just bought a $40,000 motorcycle. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It's
Is it in the way?
yeah, it's out of the way. What are you doing?
If you sit on it, you don't see it, is it?
Yeah, does it matter?
No. No.
I just think a lot of people get stuck in the old ways of Harley. But I don't think the younger guys are that way anymore. The younger guys are like, you know, building these crazy FXRs and building, you know, everybody was like, oh, these kids are just going to buy Sportsters. Oh, they're just going to buy Sportsters. They buy FXRs and new Softails now.
Yeah.
you know, because they're affordable. And I mean, there's so many FXRs out there. There's still more and more and more and more. Like, I figured, geez, a decade ago we'd be running out of FXRs. Like, somebody pulled another FXR out of somebody's backyard, or this or that and the other, and you're like, wait a second, like, you know, even 90s FXRs, I was like, how many like FXR2s did they make? I mean, there's numbers. How many of them survived?
Crazy or not?
It is. Like, every time I go to Milwaukee in the summertime, there's just like ding, 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 ding. You know, they're all ex-employees from the 80s and 90s, and they're not going to get rid of those FXRs. But
No, but they are well maintained, and I think when you ever owned an FXR, you always need to have one. I think.
always. There has to be one in the collection.
Yeah, I think
You know,
so. I think
it's just-
I wouldn't be happy if I don't have one in the shed.
I've
Sure,
been
you're
without
missing
a running
something.
FXR for a while, but I still have 6 in a container.
6 in the container.
So, I mean, you know, but I just need one that I have running.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it doesn't matter if it's an old one or a new one, or if it has a bunch of nice parts or not.
Yeah.
Just
I really want to build a shovel head one.
that would be nice.
I know for years and years I passed on them. Nope, treble head. Nope, treble head. I don't want to deal with those. And now I'm like,
Yeah, but if you do the motor correctly,
Yeah,
you
it's
won't
fine.
run any
you know what I do?
trouble.
I pick up the phone and call S&S, get a shovel head motor for that, and put it in there.
Yeah, good idea.
And put that other shovel head in the chopper. And I mean, I don't know. We keep going back to FXRs. He's an FXR guy, so am I. So, I mean, the whole situation of the love for this model of bike it's infinite. And I just love seeing all these new guys. FXR Tour, all those guys building crazy bikes year after year now. I think the FXR Tour is definitely something that's cementing the younger guys with the love for FXRs. I mean, I know dudes, you know, that they went from choppers to Dynas to baggers, and now they're going back from a bagger to FXR, put that in the garage, you know, and it's like chopper, FXR, bagger. Like, that's the quiver that is pretty much the ultimate one, you know? You've got small, medium, and large.
Yeah, but every time when I step on one, I'm amazed how easy that bike handles. It's like a bicycle.
They're magic. It's like a BMX bike.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Of the FXRs, do you have a favorite model?
Not really.
I know.
No. If it's a low rider with a 20-inch front wheel,
Yeah.
it still handles good.
It's
If
crazy.
If it's a 90-inch,
Yeah,
a 19-inch in the front,
it still does it.
yeah, it
I
doesn't
think
matter.
no, not at all. And I mean, you can keep them plain or build them crazy, and you've done both. And to be able to see that, and they still have that inherent FXR feel that nothing else has.
No, and it's especially you feel it on low speeds. It when or on short turns. But if you want to have more speed out of it, yeah, then you need to do suspension and all.
Yeah,
You can go as crazy as you can.
you can absolutely go as crazy as you can. And then, you know, there's so many people that do bushing kits now and you know, spherical bearing kits. Like, you know, Alloy Art does great stuff for that. So does Bare Knuckle and 10 other people. And I mean, that's what's really cool is these guys could be building bagger parts all day long
Yeah,
and making a ton of money. And, you know, you got Boosted Brad too, you know, and these guys are just making really cool FXR parts because they want to.
I think it's because of they know what kind of bike it is and they are happy with the bike.
A lot of
is.
other bikes come and go, but the FXR stays.
Yeah.
I
And I
just-
think that's the reason why there's still that many of these bikes out there, because they don't get salvaged.
No.
No one throws away an FXR.
No, not at all.
No.
I mean, I've had 3 salvage title ones.
Yeah, but
And people I get them straightened,
they always get rebuilt.
they always get rebuilt.
Yeah.
You don't find them in the trash. And if they get bent up in the front, you cut it off, make a chopper. There's been so many
Make
cool
a high neck out
FXR
of it,
choppers,
right?
man.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple really good FXR choppers that people haven't seen. How do you feel about the FXR chopper phase?
I drove one, a high neck one. I tried because I just thought, okay, this is not handling anymore. But as long as the rake is
As long as
more or
it's
less the
done,
same, it's still an FXR.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Even though the frame's been cut in half and completely redone, it still rides like an FXR if the neck's right.
Yeah.
So I think that, what do you, from your brand, what do you feel you'll be producing next that you can talk about?
We're gonna make brackets for the new type Sportsters
Mm-hmm.
to put or either an FXR T fairing or an ST fairing on.
Cool.
We did that and it really looks good. And
Yeah, I think
it's a
it's
good
still
idea.
a good size for the Rev Max bikes for sure.
Yeah.
I think that it's really, really cool and they look really good and it's an accessible bike, it's a $10,000 bike in the US. You can buy that and, your payments are low enough, guys' payments are low enough that he can spend money getting cool parts to upgrade it. And I mean, it comes 100 horsepower stock from the factory. They get
Perfect.
they really move. Yeah. And you can tune them now. And I think that there's a lot of people, Cruisy's done a lot with promoting it. We've built a couple now. And to be able to see that RevMax Sportster grow out of it. I mean, it came out and it's stalled for years. People are like, ugh.
Yeah, but I don't know why, because I've driven it. It's a
Fun
bike to ride.
So light.
Yeah.
Such a great feel,
Yeah.
It's got that,
It handles well. It has 100 horsepower stock.
yeah. I mean,
hey, what more do you want?
them putting that fuel tank in the bottom, you notice when it's got a full tank of fuel and it's like all the weight's at the bottom and, it definitely needs a fairing. And I mean, you're the guy to do it.
To make it more practical, I think it's we put one on and it really looks nice.
Good.
Yeah, I like
love
it.
that. I think it's cool, and I think that bike's going to keep growing.
I hope so, because it deserves.
I agree. It deserves it. I think
Yeah.
it's a really cool design bike. I like the way it looks. I think people are warming up to it now because they've seen it more. And I don't know if Harley should have dropped the 1200S first, just because it's so weird with that big, huge front tire and this and that. And I think if they would have dropped a Nightster that was all murdered out to look more like a Dyna, people would have liked that better.
I think so.
And I mean, the Pan Am's a Pan Am. We've already talked about that. It's just a great machine all around. And to have, a couple derivative models from that is really cool. And that 975 cooks, man. I mean, hopefully one day they'll do a 1250 Nightster. And that thing would be the end all be all, It'd be crazy.
That would be good.
Yeah. You never know what Harley's going to do. I know they're still going to keep producing road glides. Everything else is off the table with Artie doing, cleaning up the company and doing really good stuff over there. And I think it's gonna double down on their business a lot. Everybody knows Harley's kind of had some slow sales the past couple years. Everybody has. GM, Ford, it's just, we've had the tariffs and this gas crisis we're in now and everything else. And I thought that would equate to buying more motorcycles, but I don't think everybody knows that this gas thing's not going to last that long and they'll be back to normal. And
even if it's not gonna stop.
Motorcycles
people
are
to
cheap.
motor riding, motorcycling.
No, people are going to be riding motorbikes all the time. I know I will. So, I mean, what more do you have to give the industry? Tell me a story.
I really haven't got a clue.
See, I love the way you run your business.
If it could be that that's tomorrow we have a good idea, and sometimes you just think about something and then you think, hey, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think it's super cool.
And for now, it's like it's not a big idea just to put fairings on a Sportster, but who knows what comes out of that?
You never know.
No.
You know what I mean? Just like doing that for an FXR. Now you have everything for FXR. You know?
We have all this, we have lots of stuff for the FXR, but then, I didn't, when I was starting off building these FXRs, I didn't think about putting fairings on a touring bike.
No.
That wasn't the idea. So you never know what comes out of it.
And life is great like that. And as long as you're open to change, and you know, there's two kinds of business people. There's people that have a hard, rigid way they're going to do their company. And then there's people that just evolve from letting the business take its course and evolving. And I think that's actually probably about the best way to do it, is let your customers dictate what you're going to build for them and take chances here and there. And I mean, follow your dreams most of all.
Yeah, but I'm a mechanic.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to run a business.
Well, you seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, I think I got lucky.
Yeah, it's not luck, man. It's
if
skill.
you ever go with a few good ideas, it can.
Yeah, you can afford yourself a pretty damn fun life.
That's true.
That's true. That's what's the most important thing, man. Like, you can work till you're dead, and then what do you have? You know?
Yeah.
You got to have some fun. You got to come over and see me in Tennessee. Put a fairing on my bike, because I don't know how.
All the way from Holland to here.
All the way from Holland to here, and I'm super stoked to have you, man. Like, in all honesty, like, you're one of the guys that, you know, I know you're a very humble guy, but man, you've charted the course for a lot of enthusiasts and a lot of other companies. And I can't say enough about this guy right here, man. Seriously.
Thanks.
Mike. It's the truth, man. And I can't. You got
it as well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, man. Seriously. Dominator, Mike, Netherlands, Holland, Dutch, whatever. Awesome guy doing awesome things.